Khabib Nurmagomedov is one of the most dangerous fighters the MMA world has ever seen. He's known for his incredible wrestling, unstoppable pressure, and the ability to control his opponents on the ground. People often call him a monster in the octagon, and it's not hard to see why. Every fight he steps into, he's calm, focused, and absolutely relentless. Some of his most legendary battles include his fights against Conor McGregor, Dustin Poirier, and Rafael dos Anjos. In all of these, Khabib showed that he doesn't just rely on strength. He has a strategy, perfect timing, and amazing stamina. He wears opponents down slowly and never gives them a chance to breathe. But before any winning streak, there's always a long, tough road of training. Khabib's preparation is intense. Hours of wrestling, jiu-jitsu, running, and sparring every day. He focuses on building both his body and mind, making sure he's ready for every possible situation in the fight. That's why when he's in the octagon, he feels unstoppable, and watching how Khabib trains is almost as impressive as watching him fight. He turns discipline into power, and that's what made him a legend in MMA. Khabib Nurmagomedov's approach to cardio and endurance training is as intense as his fighting style. His regimen is designed to build not just physical stamina, but also mental toughness. A typical day for Khabib starts with a 90-minute run at sunrise covering 10 or 12 kilometers, often in the rugged terrains of Dagestan. This is followed by wrestling, grappling, sparring, and strength training, sometimes up to 3 times a day, 6 days a week. His workouts are known for their consistency and intensity, focusing on building endurance through repetition and discipline. One of his most challenging cardio routines involved swimming against the current in a freezing river, a method to push his limits and enhance cardiovascular capacity. Such exercises are not just about physical endurance, but also about developing mental resilience. Khabib's training philosophy emphasizes sacrifice and discipline. He believes that to be the best, one must dedicate themselves fully, often foregoing personal comforts and leisure. This mindset has been crucial in his development as a fighter and in maintaining his undefeated record. In essence, Khabib's cardio and endurance training is a holistic approach combining physical exertion with mental fortitude, all grounded in unwavering discipline. One of the main ways Khabib builds his incredible endurance and strength is by training outdoors in the mountains of Dagestan. Instead of relying on fancy gyms or machines, he uses the natural environment as his training ground. He runs up steep hills, sometimes carrying heavy logs or rocks on his shoulders while sprinting. The uneven terrain makes every step a challenge, forcing his legs, core, and stabilizer muscles to work extra hard. This kind of running isn't just about leg strength, it also improves balance and coordination, which are crucial when grappling or taking someone down in the octagon. Training at high altitudes is another secret weapon. Being around 2,000 meters above sea level makes the air thinner, so Khabib's body has to adapt. Over time, it produces more red blood cells, delivering more oxygen to his muscles. When he returns to lower altitudes, his cardio and stamina are incredible, letting him keep up a high pace for long rounds without getting tired. On top of all this, Khabib mixes in challenging drills like bear crawls uphill, weighted runs, and short sprints with minimal rest. These sessions aren't easy. They push his body and mind to the limit. But that's exactly why he's so dominant in the octagon. He's built endurance, strength, and mental toughness that very few fighters can match. Another key part of Khabib's training is wrestling and grappling. This is where he builds the strength, control, and stamina that make him so hard to beat. He doesn't just practice on flat mats, he often trains on uneven terrain in the mountains, which makes every move more challenging. Wrestling uphill or on rocks forces his body to stabilize itself constantly, working muscles that wouldn't be fully activated in a regular gym. It also improves his balance and reaction time, which are essential when taking an opponent down or escaping tricky positions. Khabib also spends hours on repetitive drills, practicing takedowns, holds, and transitions over and over again. These sessions can be grueling, but the repetition makes every movement second nature. Even when he's grappling with teammates, he treats it like a real fight, always pushing himself and them to the limit. One of his toughest exercises is bear crawling uphill for long stretches. It's exhausting, but it strengthens his arms, shoulders, core, and legs all at once, while also building mental toughness. By combining technical wrestling skills with raw physical conditioning, Khabib ensures that he's not just strong, he's unstoppable in the octagon. Explosive power and speed are another huge part of Khabib's training. He knows that strength alone isn't enough. He needs to move fast, react quickly, and hit hard when the moment comes. To build this, he uses a combination of weighted squats, squat jumps, sprint intervals, and plyometric exercises. These movements train his fast twitch muscles, which are the ones responsible for quick bursts of power, perfect for takedowns, punches, and sudden movements in a fight. Khabib doesn't just lift weights slowly, he focuses on explosive effort. For example, he might squat with a sandbag or a heavy log and then jump as high as possible or sprint up a hill at full speed, drop, and immediately do push-ups or sit-ups. These back-to-back exercises mimic the bursts of energy needed in a real fight, training both his body and mind to handle extreme intensity. He also practices striking drills with minimal rest, like hitting the bag or doing shadow boxing in short, fast intervals. This improves speed, coordination, and endurance all at once. The combination of explosive lifting, sprinting, and rapid-fire drills ensures that Khabib is not just strong. He's lightning fast and ready for any fight scenario. Khabib also builds a lot of his strength, using simple tools and bodyweight exercises, rather than relying on fancy gym machines. He often trains with sandbags, kettlebells, rocks, or even logs he finds outdoors. These irregular objects are actually better for functional strength because they force his muscles, and especially his grip, to adjust with every lift. Unlike standard weights, which are uniform, lifting uneven objects makes every movement a little unpredictable, which is exactly how it is in a fight. He combines these tools with classic bodyweight exercises like push-ups, dips, lunges, and squats. Sometimes he adds extra weight with a backpack or sandbag to make it more challenging. Even shadow boxing and hitting a heavy bag become strength-building exercises when done in intense circuits with minimal rest. The key is that these exercises aren't just about looking strong, they improve real fighting ability. Strong legs help him drive through takedowns, powerful arms help control opponents, and a solid core makes him stable in every position. By combining simple tools with smart bodyweight exercises, Khabib gets stronger in ways that directly translate to the octagon, making him a force to be reckoned with. Core and mental conditioning are just as important to Khabib as strength and cardio. His core is constantly challenged with exercises like medicine ball slams, rotational movements, sit-ups, and weighted wood choppers. These drills build stability and rotational power, which are key for strikes, takedowns, and controlling opponents in grappling. A strong core keeps him balanced and explosive no matter what position he's in. Mental toughness is trained alongside the physical work. Khabib pushes himself to extreme conditions, sometimes training alone in the cold mountains, diving into icy water, or running on tough terrain after long, grueling sessions. These exercises are designed to test his focus, patience, and resilience. Extended fasting or intense, repeated circuits without much rest also train his mind to stay calm and focused, even when his body is exhausted. All of this combined, core strength, extreme drills, and mental conditioning, makes Khabib not just physically strong, but mentally unstoppable. He can handle long rounds, pressure from elite opponents, and unexpected situations in a fight. This balance of mind and body is one of the main reasons he stayed undefeated and dominated in the octagon. When Khabib is getting ready for a fight, running is one of his biggest weapons. He's not just jogging for fun. He runs almost every morning, sometimes for more than an hour. Long runs help him build the kind of gas tank that lets him keep pushing the pace when other fighters start slowing down. He also mixes in sprints and uphill runs to make it even tougher. That way, his legs stay strong and his lungs are ready for those crazy high-intensity scrambles in the cage. It's not fancy, no high-tech gym machines or complicated routines, just him, the road, and the grind. This running habit is why, when the fight gets into the later rounds, Khabib still looks fresh, while his opponents are breathing heavy. For him, running is more than exercise, it's mental training too. Proof that he can outwork anybody. When Khabib is in fight camp, one training session a day isn't enough. He usually trains 2, sometimes even 3 times a day. Mornings are for running or technique work, like drilling wrestling moves and grappling positions. After a short rest and a meal, he's back in the gym for sparring, where he goes hard with teammates round after round. In the evening, he finishes with strength and conditioning, pull-ups, push-ups, lifting weights, and more cardio. This routine sounds extreme, but that's what makes him so relentless in the cage. He's used to being tired and still working. These back-to-back sessions are not just about getting stronger, but about building mental toughness too. By fight night, Khabib knows he's done more work than anyone else. That confidence, combined with his conditioning, is why he can push the pace until his opponents break. Wrestling is Khabib's secret weapon, and before every fight, he doubles down on it. His training camps are packed with endless grappling sessions, Wrestling, sambo, jiu-jitsu, he drills takedowns over and over until they're automatic. Then he does hard sparring rounds, sometimes with fresh training partners jumping in every few minutes to keep the pace brutal. This is why, on fight night, he can grab someone's legs in round 3 with the same power he had in round 1. It's not just physical, it's mental too. Wrestling like this is exhausting, and Khabib teaches himself to stay calm and keep working even when his body is screaming. By the end of camp, controlling someone on the ground feels natural to him. That's why his opponents often look trapped, because Khabib has already been in those positions 1,000 times in training. Khabib doesn't waste time chasing big muscles. His strength work is simple, but effective. Most of his exercises are with his own body weight, pull-ups, push-ups, dips, squats. He also uses kettlebells, medicine balls, and some light barbell lifts, but the goal is always functional strength, not just looking big. These workouts keep him fast, explosive, and hard to move. He needs that power to control opponents against the cage and on the ground. A typical session might be circuit style, push-ups, pull-ups, burpees, and core work, all with short breaks to keep the heart rate up. It's basic, no-nonsense training that matches his fighting style. Nothing flashy, just strong, solid, and reliable. This is why when Khabib grabs someone, it feels like they're stuck to the mat. His strength comes from hours of simple, hard work, not from fancy gym equipment. Khabib takes recovery just as seriously as training. During fight camp, his life is on a strict schedule. Train, eat, sleep, repeat. He goes to bed early and wakes up early so his body stays in rhythm. Sleep is a big part of his routine because it helps muscles recover and keeps his mind sharp. His diet is clean and simple, focused on real food that fuels his workouts without slowing him down. There are no late nights, no distractions. Business and social life are put on hold. Even his rest days are active. Light movement, stretching, maybe a slow run just to stay loose. This discipline is one of his biggest advantages. By fight week, Khabib is not just in shape, he's fresh, focused, and ready to push through 5 rounds if needed. His recovery habits are a key part of why he never looked tired in the cage. If you want to show why Khabib felt like a machine, just put his control stats on screen. In the clinch, he was in charge for almost 87% of the time. On the ground, a wild 96% control rate. That means nearly every second on the mat, he was on top, dictating what happened. Picture this. Most fighters spend half the fight trying to stand back up, while Khabib is calm, pressing them into the cage, talking to them, landing little punches. These numbers hit hard because they prove he didn't just win, he dominated. You can turn that into a quick graphic. Big, bold 87% clinch control, then 96% ground control, with clips of him smashing opponents. Viewers instantly get it. This guy wasn't just better, he was suffocating round after round until his opponents looked completely out of options. To really understand Khabib, you have to know where he came from. He grew up in the mountains of Dagestan, where life is tough and discipline is part of everyday life. His father, Abdulmanap, was more than a coach. He was a teacher, a mentor, and the man who built Khabib's mindset. From a young age, Khabib was wrestling, running, and learning that hard work was normal, not special. Abdulmanap taught him that fighting wasn't just about winning, it was about character, staying humble, respecting opponents, and never cutting corners. That's why Khabib is so calm in the cage. For him, a hard fight isn't scary, it's just another day of work. Showing this side, old photos, training in small gyms, wrestling on mats with kids, makes him feel real. It shows that his strength didn't come from nowhere. It came from family, tradition, and a lifetime of discipline. One of the scariest things about Khabib was how he got stronger as the fight went on. Most fighters start fast and slow down. Khabib does the opposite. He keeps pushing until the other guy breaks. In the first round, he ties you up, makes you carry his weight, and forces you to defend. By round 2, you're already breathing heavy and he's still calm. By round 3, your arms feel like cement from defending takedowns, and that's when Khabib really turns it up. You can see it in his fights against Conor, Dustin, Gaethje. They all start to look tired while he's still talking to them, still pressing, still working. It's not just physical, it's mental torture. His pressure doesn't give opponents a chance to rest, and sooner or later they make a mistake, and Khabib finishes the job. Khabib often says discipline is more important than motivation. Motivation comes and goes, he once said, but discipline stays. His whole life in fight camp was one big routine. Wake up early, run, drill wrestling, spar, then finish with strength and conditioning. Day after day, the same schedule, no excuses. He once admitted that training twice a day wasn't enough, so he added a third late-night session. "I sacrificed everything I have," he said. That repetition built more than just muscles. It built an iron mind. When you do the same hard things every single day, you stop fearing them. And that's why in the cage, he looks calm even when the fight is intense. His brain is trained to stay focused under pressure. It's not just that he's strong, he feels unbreakable because he's been through worse every day in the gym. In the end, Khabib Nurmagomedov is more than just an undefeated fighter with a 29-0 record. He's the product of years of discipline, sacrifice, and a culture that values hard work above everything else. His training wasn't flashy. It was simple. Long mountain runs, endless wrestling drills, hard sparring, and strength sessions built on push-ups, pull-ups, and basic weights. But the secret was in how consistent he was. He repeated the same routine every single day, pushing himself with 2 or even 3 workouts. He lived the words he often said, "Discipline beats motivata." That's why his control numbers are so crazy. 87% clinch control, 96% ground control. These stats show what opponents already felt in the cage. Once Khabib got close, escape was almost impossible. Add his mental toughness, built from years of training under his father Abdulmanap in the tough mountains of Dagestan, and you see why he never lost. Khabib wasn't just fighting men, he was breaking their will. His pressure, his calmness, his ability to keep going when others faded, made him look unshakable. That's why fans call him the Eagle. He soared above the rest, not because of talent alone, but because he outworked everyone every single day.